After the fire, silent screams finally found their voice. One of the bereaved prostrate on the pavement in front of loved ones laid out behind her. At just after 1 a.m. local time in Johannesburg's central business district, a fire broke out on the lower floors of this 5-story building. Firefighters are still working their way through the building, so the numbers of dead and injured are likely to rise. But at the moment, they stand at 74 dead, including 12 children. Over 50 people injured. One of the residents described jumping out a window on the 3rd floor. He is still looking for his sister, who also lived inside. Described a warren of partitioned rooms with locked gates and doors inside.
I'm not sure that he's still alive or not, because the building, the house, the room what he should stay is bent all, and the door is closed, still closed. And when even the fight was finished, I'm trying to go there, then I see the door, it was closed.
200 families were living inside. The floors had been divided up into a network of living quarters. Many were migrant workers from South Africa and neighbouring countries. Another resident also described locked access points, which meant many could not escape.
The actual fire escape was closed, so there was a lot of people, a lot of people smoked, people were suffocated, a lot of people died because of the smoke, because there was a lot of pressure at the gates, some of the gates were closed.
The Usandiso building is actually owned by Johannesburg's own city government. We were told it was leased to a charity many years ago, but then became one of the city's so-called hijacked buildings. That's where criminal gangs take over derelict buildings and charge rent to migrant workers. One official told us that there are 650 hijacked buildings in Johannesburg. The official went on to tell us that different gangs control different floors of the Usandiso building, and that the gangs gave access only to their paying tenants by installing gates on each floor.
The first floor belongs to one hijacker, second floor belongs to another hijacker, and so forth and so on. And they have gates, burglar gates, where people have to have access into the floor.
So just to be clear, are you saying that the different gangs that controlled the different floors, they also controlled access to those floors by using gates at the entrance, and those gates were locked?
They were locked, yes.
The city government is in something of a bind here. If they evict people from properties like this one, they have to offer alternative accommodation, which they're struggling to do. But at the end of the day, this was a government-owned building, which was hijacked, then caught fire, and dozens were killed. And for some human rights groups in South Africa, that makes this tragedy totemic politically, in the same way as Grenfell was for some in the UK.
It shows a failure to respect the vision that's set out in our constitution. It shows an abandonment of the principles and of the promises that were made to our people about what this democracy would do for them. And our only hope is that it will inspire them. It will be a wake-up call for the city of Johannesburg.
This is tragic. This is very sad.
President Ramaphosa arrived at the scene of the fire this evening, offering condolences and emphasising the investigation which is to come. He will also be cognizant, though, of elections next year, and whether this tragedy will in any way affect the ANC's apparent electoral immunity to a crisis.